Guys, a very good afternoon. Welcome to Learn How to Train, I guess, formally. I want to welcome you all to the group and kind of take you through a quick presentation and tell you everything that is coming your way on Learn How to Train. This is a community for athletes, coaches, and curious minds. So, our goals with Learn How to Train is quite simple. We want to help you achieve training autonomy because when you go out there and you seek coaching, I feel like that should not just be for general supervision so that you have somebody on top of your head telling you what to do and you never have to apply your own brains. That sort of training format does not work if you are an athlete, if you're a hobbyist athlete, you have goals, aspirations. You look at problem solving as constraints that can be solved and you can hack progress through that. If you have that sort of a mindset, you cannot just go out there and just completely be at the mercy of a floor trainer and have them tell you what to do. You're just going to get tired of that very quickly. So we want to help you attain training autonomy so that you can stop being at the complete mercy of these floor trainers and you can be smart enough to not trust them, right? And then when you do need coaching, you need it just for specific problem solving. That okay, now I have this very specific set of problem with a deadline that I want to solve so that I can achieve this on this particular day, and now I need specialized help. That's when coaching comes in. That's when coaching makes sense. That's when it makes sense for you to spend all that money on a monthly basis that you do on coaching. So that's what we want to help you do. And empowerment through education and access to the best training and learning resources out there. This is the bedrock of this community. We want to make sure that if you're a part of this group, not only are you you're gaining training autonomy, but how are you exactly doing that? You're going to do that when learning emerges, when you're able to actually learn things. So we want to help create a space where everyone can come along and play these positive sum games where everybody's contributing something and we are all learning through the shared experience. But this is going to happen when we give you access to the best training and learning resources out there that we have developed through the last few years. And it's like everything that we're sharing on the group is kind of at the edge of innovation in terms of everything that is happening in health and fitness right now. So we are not going to give you specific answers to anything. There's going to be a lot of resources shared that you can use as principles to get your own minds going and just find your own solutions. And then we cover it all with a feedback loop as the whole reason of this community is that when you have an idea, when when those gears start turning in your heads, and with the information that we give you and the training programs that you're maybe already working on. When you combine those two things, the only thing that needs to be done after that is a system where you can audit things on a regular basis because you need to audit your own ideas, right? Otherwise, they just go unchecked and then they're bound to get exposed for their fragility. That's just something that happens. So this community gives you that feedback loop. Like, okay, like we gave you training resources, you use those training resources to arrive at some of your own conclusions or form your own assumptions, run it by us again and get feedback on it, right? Share your insights, get feedback on it. So this community creates that whole feedback loop of learning. We're trying to build a new paradigm for health, fitness, and exuberance. We're kind of trying to reimagine everything. What is the role of a coach in a training program? What is a training program? What is a learning process? And what ways of learning are good, and what ways of learning are not that optimal? We're trying to kind of redefine all of that and build a new paradigm for health, fitness, and exuberance that you can really own and that can adapt with you as you are going through and adapting through life. So what to expect from this group is going to be a lot of demand-based research work. There's going to be a lot of questions, there's going to be a lot of interactions, and on the back end, we are not just going to throw arbitrary learning modules at you guys, right? So we're going to give you relevant learning modules, which is all going to be based on the trends that on the back end, we as coaches are analyzing based on the interactions that we have on the group. So, whatever we see on the group, based on the interactions that are happening, we are going to identify trends and demands. And based on that, we're going to do our research work and come up with relevant learning modules. As I'm recording this video, there's a conversation going on the group about performance testing. And next week, this is something that we are going to actively work on. So, you guys are going to have a learning module on performance testing. What is performance testing? Why is it important? And how do you go about it as an individual? So things like that. There's also going to be a lot of plug and play training programs. What does that mean? Plug and play training programs basically mean that, it's not going to be a program that is custom made for you, as trainers like to say, it's custom made for you, tailor made for you. No, these are not going to be tailor made, custom made training programs because it's impossible to do it until we form like a really good set of assumptions about you as an individual, right? But plug and play training programs kind of give you like a skeleton training program that okay, these are some guidelines. This is maybe a possible structure that you can follow, and these are some constraints that you need to set, and now you take it and you make it your own based on your own, your own relevant pieces of information that okay, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work for me, this is how I can take this training program and fit into my own schedule. And then obviously you have open communication and accountability. So open communication and accountability, how do we plan on doing this? We're planning on doing this by basically condensing it into two live sessions that happen every week, right? So wherein I'm going to keep a video call open twice every week. We'll get into the schedule of it later on. But these are sessions where you can come online, join that video call, and have like a brainstorming session with me, other coaches, and other athletes and trainees on the group. And you can share your insights. You can share your insights about how did you take that information that was provided to you in the group, how did you apply it, what is your own training looking like, what are some problems that you're trying to solve, and what are some things that you've learned in that particular week. And within those two calls, we kind of take all of this information, distill it down into some sort of insight, valuable insight that we can then use to kind of plan out our next week. So there's a constant feedback loop, auditing of your own thoughts and ideas, and then implementation, immediate implementation into the next training week. So all of these things are what you can expect from this community. Now, how does this work? All of this, it comes to you at a price of 500 rupees per month. Like I said, I believe that if you are getting coaching, which, like market average right now is about 4 to 5,000 bucks for a month. If you, on average, if you get a remote coaching training program anywhere, and those are all generic, but I feel like when you get to that point, that should be for a specific problem. Like let's say if you're doing a competition prep and you want to leave no stones unturned, and you want to get help, specific help, so that you do not have to do a lot of guesswork, and you can just focus on what needs to be done and achieve a specific goal on a specific deadline. That's when you need coaching. But all of this we are going to give to you at just 500 rupees a month, because this is not specific coaching. This is very important learning and access to training resources that you need on a general level, right? When you just generally want to be prepared for whatever life throws at you. So that's 500 rupees per month. How does this work? How can you utilize all of this? We encourage you to take all of these use resources and actually utilize it. Try to think about your own training within the context of these ideas that are being shared with you, and then share your feedback and insights from your own journey, so that the feedback loop is then complete, and we can all as a group we can have this shared learning experience and just grow from everybody's own training journey. So proactivity, curiosity are going to be two very important pillars if you are a part of this community. We are filtering in people that we believe fit this bill. But now, really, if you're a part of this group now, it depends on you how well you can do that or want to do that. Nothing will ever be enforced on top of you. These are just guidelines, these are not rules. So the whole idea is to just let outcomes, global outcomes emerge from the group and see where we can take this, right? So there will never be any rules enforced on you. Uh, the onus is completely on you how you want to take this. Weekly schedule is basically a condensed version of how we are planning to kind of do all of this on a regular basis, week after week. So, Monday, start of the week, we will share a training program or a concept with you that you can then take and work throughout the rest of the week. Again, this is going to be based on trends and demands that we analyze and identify from the group. Wednesday is going to be a breakdown of a training principle or some research insights, again, demand based, trend based, relevant to the members and the users of the group. So this is where you can kind of do your own study, learn about new concepts that may or may not have to do with your training at that point or the training program that has been shared with you, but they're going to be important regardless. And in regular intervals, we are going to circle back to the topics. So it's not going to be like we just research a random topic and then share it with you. So research is based on the demands and insights that we see from the group, and then we keep revisiting the concepts and the things that we talk about on regular intervals as well. Friday and Sunday are the live sessions where we do the training feedback and ask as many questions as you want sort of sessions. So this is where you get your doubts cleared, share your insights, share your own training journey, and just complete that feedback loop. And Sunday again is going to be a live session where we do a check-in with everyone, see how everyone's doing, kind of audit everyone's, reflect back on the week, see what are the drawbacks that we need to work on, what are the strengths that we can now exploit, and then we plan out the next week. So this is what the weekly schedule is going to look like. And yeah, guys, this is basically what Learn How to Train is all about. And I want to welcome you all again to the group. It's quite fun and exciting. And my personal contact and the availability, the access to sharing as many insights as you want on the group on text, or ask as many questions as you want, is just always there. There's no time limit or foundations or constraints around that. The group is open 24/7 from your end, so ask as many questions as you want. There are no stupid questions, there are no dumb questions. You can literally ask as much as you want. Understand that everybody on this group, they are all like-minded individuals. They are people on similar journeys as yourself, as me. So nothing that you ask is going to be irrelevant. So you don't have to worry about that. So text questions always welcome. And I feel like this is quite a packed schedule that once you go through this week after week for 4 weeks, you are going to see the value behind this. So keep an open mind. You're welcome to stay as long as you want, leave whenever you want. And yeah, welcome to Learn How to Train. And my best wishes to you guys.